Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football Freshman Spotlight Season, going back to the 2024 class and kind of projecting some true freshmen that I think can have some real success in the 2024 season. The Florida Gators, obviously you kind of headlined by some elite prospects coming in, DJ Lagway, LJ McCray, one of the players that I just think is flying under the radar heading into 2024. The Florida Gators certainly know who he is. Running back Jadan Baugh, this is one of the more fascinating prospects that we saw in the 2024 cycle. And, again, a prospect that didn't get a ton of attention when you have guys like DJ Lagway and LJ McCray committed in that 2024 class. This kid not only has the opportunity to get on the field a lot for the Florida Gators, I think he has the ability to be a serious contributor for this Florida Gators program in 2024. Fired up to get into Jadan Baugh. Want to take a look back at the senior film, take a look back at what he did during the spring game, kind of talk about what he can bring to this Florida Gators offense. Before we get into it, as always, just want to say thank you to you guys and to the Florida Gator fans. We go back last year, I kind of highlighted Aiden Mizell as that freshman spotlight breakout player. Obviously missed that one. Should have talked about Eugene Wilson. It's been a blast talking this program, whether we're talking 2024, whether we're talking the recruiting trail. The amount of support you guys continue to show to the boys, it truly does mean a lot. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And I think more importantly, call your shot with some freshmen down in the comments section, because we're going to talk about a lot of different freshmen that I think have the opportunity to play for this Florida program in 2024. And without further ado, let's get into Jadan Baugh. He was a late addition to this 2024 cycle, and really fascinating kid coming out of high school where he played all around the offense, even getting some wildcat quarterback opportunities as a wide receiver, obviously cut his teeth as a running back. There are two things that I think you have to talk about in terms of true freshmen getting on the football field and playing, especially in the SEC. I think first is the depth chart. Do they have the opportunity to work their way into the rotation? You look at Florida in the running back room, I think he does. I mean, obviously, Montrell Johnson, you make no mistake about it, is going to be one of the better running backs in the SEC. But outside of Montrell Johnson Jr., there's not a ton of proven production at the running back spot. Trayon Webb going into year two, we feel good about him. But I think a lot of Florida fans are looking for some depth at running back. And I think Florida has one in Jadan Baugh in terms of maybe emerging as that running back too. So not only do I think he has the opportunity in terms of how the depth chart shakes out, I think he has the physicality to play early as well. That's another thing that, kind of prevents a lot of true freshmen from playing early, is they got to continue to fill out that frame. You look at Jadan Baugh, 6'1 plus, 215 pounds. We don't have any question marks about the physicality that Jadan Baugh brings to the table. Now, you go back to the senior year film, a guy that averaged 14 yards per carry. Want to take a look just at a few of these senior year film runs where you kind of get the sense that Jadan Baugh is a polished running back. He's not one of those running backs that just kind of ran a lot of east and west. He wanted to attack the line of scrimmage. And you talk about running backs that, often find year one, year two success jumping up to the college football level. It's the running backs that know how to get downhill. We see a lot of running backs go through kind of some growing pains in terms of learning how to operate on an SEC football field when you're not the fastest player on the field. Jadan Baugh never really relied on that east and west running style. You take a look at some of the film. One, nasty jump cut, really good feel for the position in terms of understanding where his running lanes are. And when he does have the opportunity to get downfield, that's exactly what he's going to do. He's a really patient running back that knows how to follow his blockers, making people miss in space. And although Jadan Baugh is not necessarily a burner, he has the ability to hit some of those home run plays. You continue to work through the film. I think two things stand out. One, attacking the line of scrimmage. When that running lane presents itself, he is going to attack, especially in that kind of zone-heavy scheme Florida likes to run. It is a little bit more reliant on the running backs kind of picking their way through traffic. Jadan Baugh knows how to do that. Again, he has the burners, the ability to make people miss. You see it on the senior year film. I think what excites the Florida Gator fans the most is you also saw it during the spring game. I mean, he was a guy that kind of showed he could take what he's doing from the high school ranks and translate it to a college football field. Again, the jump cuts, they're absolutely silly for a guy like Jadan Baugh, who just understands where his lanes are, when to attack downfield. Now, you go to some of these reps that we saw from Jadan Baugh in the spring game. That's what makes me so excited that Jadan Baugh can play year one for the Florida Gators. You start rolling through some of this film. And again, this is a kid that should be finishing his last semester in high school, just getting it done in terms of picking through traffic, a nasty jump cut in the backfield routinely on the film in the spring game. But then when it's time to get downhill, we are going to put our foot in the ground and get downhill and be a physical runner. We're going to make people miss in space, nice contact balance. I mean, again, it's not always the flashy runs, but Jadan Baugh's ability to, one, pick through traffic and then get downhill and run physically, that's something that stands out to me with Jadan Baugh going into his freshman year. You continue to work through some of these carries for Jadan Baugh. Again, I think one of the things that always stands out to me is his vision. I mean, he's got such a good jump cut and feel in terms of, hey, picking through traffic, finding the running lane, and then we are going to get downhill. We're going to make people miss in space, and we're going to finish this run with some physicality. I think Jadan Baugh was probably the best running back during the spring game. And again, Montrell Johnson Jr. is going to be the running back one for this Florida Gators program. A large conversation that we had with Florida during the offseason was, what is the running back depth going to look like? We didn't see Billy Napier go out to the transfer portal and grab another running back. I think we got our answer why. Because guys like Jadan Baugh are going to be able to play as freshmen. Again, really good feel, jump cut. We're making people miss in space. And again, that's 6'1", 215 pounds, making a linebacker just fall on his face right there. That's exactly how you want it to look for a true freshman running back, an early enrollee true freshman running back in a spring game. We had a massive question mark about the Florida Gators and what they were going to do at depth at the running back spot. Again, we know Montrell Johnson Jr. is our guy. Who is going to be running back 2 and running back 3 within this Florida Gators offense? And I had a lot of Florida fans, when we were talking back in the transfer portal, were saying we need to figure out some of the depth at the running back spot. We wanted Florida to go out in the transfer portal and get a veteran running back. I think as the spring practice session played out, as we got to see someone like Jadan Baugh in the spring game, we started to understand, why Billy Napier felt so comfortable at the running back position, because I think they brought in 2 freshmen that could play early with a guy like Daniels as well. But Jadan Baugh, from what we saw in the spring game and kind of just being a, underappreciated prospect coming out of high school, and a guy that didn't garner a ton of buzz around Florida fans because he committed to Florida extremely late on the process. I think a lot of Florida fans were much more concerned with keeping DJ Lagway and LJ McCray in the 2024 cycle. Jadan Baugh is going to be a dude for the Florida Gators. I think he has the physicality and the capability to play year one in the SEC, but I think more importantly, he has the opportunity in terms of how the depth chart is shaking out to be a year one guy for this Florida Gators program. Fired up for Jadan Baugh, excellent physicality, excellent vision, great feel for the running back position, which again is probably the most rare quality when you're talking about freshman running backs. Sign me up for Jadan Baugh in 2024. If you guys have any other freshmen that you think we should take a look at, kind of put a stamp on and say they're going to be year one contributors, let us know in the comments section. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. And if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys. Talk to y'all later. Peace.